So do you want to exclude internal traffic from Google Analytics data? Do you want Google Analytics to filter your IP? So hi, this is Vishal Kalia from Fashion Marketing, and in this Google Analytics training, I'm going to show you how to find your IP address, how to use Google Analytics to filter your IP, and 3, how to get Google Analytics exclude multiple IP addresses from your work. So keep watching. So step 1 in excluding internal traffic from Google Analytics is you need to know what your IP address is, or what is the range of IP addresses if you're actually working at a company. So let's look at Google and find out what is your IP address location. So in Google, you will say, what is my IP address, or what is my IP location? Either one works. So this will give you your public IP address. So one thing to keep in mind is there are 2 types of IP addresses. One is a static IP address and the other is dynamic IP address. So most likely, if you are using computer or using internet access from Starbucks, Peet's Coffee, or maybe at your home, most likely you will have a dynamic IP address, which means your IP address can subject to change depending on your ISP provider, so which would be ISP's internet service provider. So either Comcast or AT&T. The reason they use dynamic IP addresses is because giving a static IP address that does not change to a computer, it becomes really expensive. And a lot of time, there are millions and millions of people using internet all the time. And some people are online at a certain point of time. Some of them are at other times. So what these companies do is, if you're using a Starbucks or if you're using it, more likely at home, they will give you a dynamic IP address because you don't really care that much if your IP address change. But if you're working for a company or a large organization, then your IP address is 99%. It will be static IP address, or it will be a range of IP addresses, because the company's IT department probably does not deal with the IP addresses changing all the time. So whatever your IP address is, you can find yourself like this, or you can contact your IT department and they can give you a range of your IP addresses. So let's say if you know what your IP address is, and if you want to delete just this one, if you want to exclude your IP address from Google Analytics, so once you come on Google Analytics, you will click on admin, and under admin you have your account, you have property, you have view, and on that you will click on filters. So what it does, it allows you to create filters. So under this you will click on add filter, and now it gives you 2 options. So there are 2 types of filters, predefined or custom. So you can name it, let's say call it exclude my home IP address, right? So a reason I'm saying it as home, because we'll do another one on how to exclude the work IP address range. So you click on predefined and you select a filter type, is like exclude, and what is your source of IP destination, which is your traffic from the IP address, and select expression. You want to say you exclude the traffic from IP address that is equal to, begin with, or ends with. So here we're going to talk about that is equal to, because we're only going to exclude traffic from one IP address. And on Google, as we found, this was your IP address. You're just going to copy and paste, and you click on save. And now this filter has been added. So for this view, it's going to exclude all the traffic that is coming from this particular IP address. So now let's say if you want to exclude traffic, you want to exclude internal traffic from all the IP addresses. So if you're at work, you might have a range of IP addresses. So for that, we'll go back again to add filter, and here we will call exclude all work IP addresses, right? So let's assume you have a range of IP addresses. So here, what we're going to do, you're going to pick a custom type filter type, and it says exclude. The filter type here is going to be again IP range. So you type in IP and it gives you one of these options, so IP address. And now here, since you want to define a range, not just single IP, you have to use a regular expression. So here Google gives you a little hint of what exactly is regular expression. So you can hover down and see here it says exclude or include only traffic from a range of IP addresses. So let's say if your IP address range from 63.212.171.1 to 63.212.171.9, so your range is basically from 1 to 9. Your regular expression is going to look like this. So this is the regular expression that you are going to add here, and because Google Analytics will read this as a range of that these things are same, but that every IP address changing from this to this. But how do you even create these reg expressions? So you can come back to Google. So Google just gives you one example, right? So sometimes you just don't have the time to like, what is the nomenclature? So you can come back here and let's search for IP address. Let's say create regular expression for IP PRSS for IP. Oh, here we go. So IP address regular expression generator. So let's find out. So this is the first thing that comes out, this IP range regular expression builder. And this is just a free tool. So here you will add your IP address. So let's say your IP address for this case is, let's use the same one, right? So for IP address is goes from here, this one to number 9, right? And you start your IP address starts from here, and last IP address is this one, and then you click on generate regex, and now it gives you why didn't go. Oh, there's a, yeah, so be careful so there's no like a blank space, because there's like an empty space, it will give you an error. So here we go. So once we remove the empty space, there is no error. So this is your reg expression. So you will Control C and you'll come back and you will paste it here. As you can see, there's a little difference nomenclature. So here we have, you know, this asterisk, and here there is no asterisk, but the rest of the expression the same. Here we have a dollar sign. This one doesn't have it, but they mean the same thing. So you can use either or, and they work exactly the same way. And you want to say you want to exclude IP address from a filter pattern from this range, and you click on save, and boom, you're done. So this is now your filter is exclude all work IP addresses. You have this one going on, and then you exclude just home address. So now you have 2 filters going on, and they will exclude all your IP addresses and your internal traffic from your Google data. So this is a pretty simple way of doing it. But make sure when you implement this thing that apply to your, don't apply to your master view, apply to your test view first to make sure it's functional. And once you know that it works better, then you can go back and change the view to your master view. And also keep in mind, as we talked about, that these filters will start excluding data like as of today once you apply the filter. So any data that you have before this will not be excluded. And also if you're using dynamic IP addresses, and if you go, let's say you went to Chicago and you started using computer there and you're doing your work and your team went to Chicago. So then you will have to exclude that address too. You probably need a different filter, but if you are not using it, that IP address data or whatever activity your team does at a different location, because it might have a dynamic IP address, that thing will still be included. But then okay, like how much your team really goes out and uses the computer. So most of the time, 95% of the time, this should totally work for you. So this is a pretty simple way on how to exclude internal traffic from Google Analytics. And thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please do leave them in the form of a comment, and I'll be more than happy to answer. And if you like our video, please do subscribe to our channel or give it a thumbs up. And thank you very much for your time. Have an awesome day.